Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Thank you very much for clicking on this video. Today we are taking a look at Jordan Spieth's golf swing in 2020 and some of the years before compared to Jordan Spieth's golf swing in 2021. Now, I just released a video just before this on Jordan Spieth's entire golf swing in 2021 with a lot more videos on his golf swing in 2021, but in this video we're specifically comparing it to kind of his previous swing. So if you want more in-depth video about Jordan Spieth's golf swing, make sure after you watch this to check it out on my channel. And also make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment your thoughts down below so you guys don't miss out on any more. So first of all, we're going to have a look at this iron swing from 2020, and it amazed me when I saw this video and I saw how much Jordan's swing had changed from just a year ago. And, you know, really, when you consider how much better he's playing now, I guess it makes sense that he's changed that much. But let's dive in and take a look. You guys can take a look for yourself and see this. So, first of all, setup. Setup hasn't really changed much in my eyes. Setup here, pretty neutral. Great setup, love that. As we take this club back, if we pause it parallel to the ground, again, I wouldn't say at this position much has really changed. Pretty similar, but we'll be taking a look at Jordan Spieth's golf swing this year in a second. As we play this back, comes back on a pretty nice plane, comes back a little bit more upright, and if we pause it at the top, it's a great position here, but a lot has changed that we're about to take a look at. Few things to note. Jordan Spieth gets a fairly straight right leg here. He pivots a lot in his golf swing. He gets a fairly straight right leg here. He also gets a lot of lateral movement kind of shifting to the right. A little bit hard to see that from this angle, but that's kind of one of the problems Jordan struggled with for a long time. The club is pretty much on plane. Like the club face is maybe a little bit open, just a touch. Kind of that right elbow just about 80 degrees, 75, 80 degrees, and that left wrist is pretty flat. Now, these are all things we're going to see very, very different in his golf swing. Now, as we play this down, he's going to shallow the shaft out. He kind of drops the hands a little bit behind him before shallowing the shaft out, and he rotates really hard. Jordan gets a lot of rotation in his golf swing. Club comes through pretty nicely. If we pause it parallel to the ground, just about here, we can see that club face relatively open, doesn't really match his spine angle, and kind of coming a little bit from the inside, just a little bit, but a good amount of rotation in Jordan's swing. Hips very open, shoulders kind of square at this position, a lot of knee bend, shifting the weight through to his left side. And as we play this down into the ball, comes kind of a little bit from the inside. If we pause it at impact, great impact position, very open hips, very open shoulders, and then as he releases this, kind of straight release down the line, holds onto that club face, extends the right arm, and kind of backs out of it. A lot of chicken wing in that left elbow. We can see that left elbow appear to Jordan's left side as he comes through to that then Jordan Spieth kind of classic finish position. Let's just play this through once or twice to show you guys kind of in you know, without taking any stops or anything. It's a good swing. Like, there's a lot to really like about it, but there's also some things which we're going to talk about, which kind of you're going to see a huge change from this in Jordan's current swing. It's really, really interesting. I was amazed. Now let's dive into a Jordan Spieth iron swing from this year, from 2021. This is just at the US Open. So as we play this back, first of all, setup. Setup position, the only thing that I noticed different here in his setup is his alignment is slightly off here. His feet are kind of aimed probably just to the right middle of the green or right side of the green. His chest and shoulders are aimed, and his arms are aimed kind of left side of the green. Not sure if that's been a conscious change for him, or this is something, you know, he's trying to hit more fade, so it could just be a little adjustment they've made to try and get the club how they want it. Now, as we take this back, slowly take this back and pause it parallel to the ground, this position, to my mind, again, hasn't really changed, but if you see anything that you think has changed, comment down below. I do know that Jordan has strengthened his grip a little bit, so the club face could maybe be a little bit squarer here compared to the swing we just took a look at, but very minor details. But here's where we're going to see the difference. As we come to the top, takes it back on a beautiful plane, but watch as he gets to the top how much he starts to lay this thing off. If we pause it at the top, that is a incredibly different position to what we just took a look at. Like, I can't even believe a pro golfer has been able to make that much of a change in a year. That club is very, very laid off. The left wrist is very, very bowed, a lot more bowed than we just saw it. And body-wise, not much different from this angle. I would say I'm going to show you guys a front-on angle in a second, and there have been some changes from that angle, which you'll be able to see a little bit more. But from here, mostly to do with the club and arm structure, I would say. From this angle, what we can see. But if you guys notice anything else, comment down below. I'll reply to all your comments, and also make sure to give this video a like. As we start to play this club down, we're going to see it flatten out and shallow, but he gets it much more back out in front of him. It's not kind of dropping down so much on the inside, it's flattening out and coming back out in front of him. If we pause it parallel to the ground, I would say there's a few things different with this position. I would probably say the club is a little bit, not quite so inside. It's more the momentum of the club at this point. Like before, Jordan kind of got in a similar position here, but the club was more dropping down from the inside. And then here he's kind of working more out, more kind of flatter and away from him in order to get the club back out in front of him and then drive through the ball. As we play it down into impact, we pause it impact. Again, I wouldn't really say that much has changed from this angle of what we can see. It does look to me like Jordan, we'll be able to see this more from a front-on angle, but Jordan has more weight going towards the target. He's not backing out of it so much. Like if we play this through slowly, you're going to see it doesn't look to me like he has as much of a chicken wing and kind of backing out, holding onto the face as he did. He will, if we play this through, he extends the right arm, holds onto the face. You still do get a little bit of a chicken wing. It doesn't look to me like it's as much, and also looks to me like more of his weight is on his left side earlier. He's not kind of backing out and then shifting weight onto his left side. Let's just play this through again, just play this through once or twice for you guys. To me, it's a very, very different golf swing. He keeps the golf swing a bit more like out in front of him and a bit kind of flatter and on a more neutral plane, whereas before it was a bit more upright and he got the kind of arms dropping down behind him, then kind of had to back out of it because of his kind of weight. He had a little bit of a reverse pivot, which we'll be able to see in a second. Here definitely to my eye looks a lot better. Now we'll just take a look at a swing from front on with Jordan's swing in 2021 quickly, and we're going to take a look at the driver swing here. And this is another angle. This is probably actually the angle Jordan Spieth's swing has changed the most in my mind. So as we have it paused at setup here. Setup hasn't really changed, but Jordan Spieth used to shift a lot of bear in mind Jordan Spieth is left-handed, if you didn't know that. Jordan Spieth is left-handed, but obviously he plays golf right-handed, but he's left-hand dominant. And that's important to note because it kind of, if you swung like a baseball bat or a tennis racket or whatever, a certain way, golf is obviously rotating the other way. That's kind of a little bit what causes some of Jordan's minor swing faults that he has had before, but are a lot better now. Jordan used to shift more of his weight laterally onto his left. He used to get his hips moving quite far to his right, to our left. And he still does that a little bit, but he used to get more of a reverse pivot. His spine angle would be quite vertical, whereas here he maintains his spine angle a lot more. If we play this back, I'll show you what I mean. As we take this club back, he is going to shift a little bit to the right as we start to get to the top. You can see those hips start to move a little bit laterally to the right, and if we pause it at the top. But this is nowhere near as much as he used to get it. Here, Jordan's spine angle is pretty good. He's kind of shifted everything a little bit to the right, but it's pretty good. And The problem was with previously Jordan was shifting his weight to the right, laterally to the right, and then he would kind of shift back. But because he was getting the club dropping down on the inside, and then he had that chicken wing, he was getting very from the inside and underneath him. And then he was having to like hold on to the club face with that chicken wing, not let it rotate over. And he was having to like back out of it because of his spine angle, because he was getting that reverse pivot. Kind of having to back out of it in order to make room for him to kind of swing through and hold on to the face. Now we're going to see Jordan's going to maintain his spine angle a little bit more and shift more weight left a little bit earlier. Now, as we come through the ball, watch this, he is still going to back out of it a little bit and hold on to the face. A little, you can kind of see that old move just a little bit, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. Let's just play this through a few more times. So again, as Jordan takes the club away, we're going to see, towards the top of the backswing, he shifts more those hips a little bit to his right, and then as he swings down, shifts left, and then as he comes through the ball, backs out of it a little bit and holds onto the face. But this is nowhere near as bad as it was, guys. This is a huge improvement. He's maintaining his spine angle better. He's not reverse pivoting, and even though he is still backing out of it a little bit and holding onto the face, it's a lot better than it was. Let's just take a look at a driver from down the line, and you'll kind of be able to see this a little bit more. And then after this, I'm going to show you some of Jordan's older swing videos from like 2018, where we're going to see you're going to be able to see exactly what we've just been talking about here. So this is 2021 driver from down the line. Again, we'll just pause it as setup. Again, Jordan's shoulders look open to me here. If you look at the alignment of his feet, they're aiming a bit more right, and his shoulders are aiming a bit more left. As we play this back, I won't bother pausing it parallel to the ground. Pretty similar, pretty neutral there. We've kind of already touched on that. And if you want to see Jordan's swing in more detail, check out the other video on my channel of his swing in 2021. And as we pause it at the top here, this is a hugely different position than what we are about to take a look at in the next driver swing we're about to take a look at from 2018. So memorize this position, guys. Very laid off face. Club. Very laid off. I don't know another player that gets it that laid off. Maybe like Cameron Champ possibly, but very laid off position. Very bowed left wrist, a bit of bend in that left arm too. And then as we start to swing down, he's going to flatten the shaft out, bring those hands and arms back out in front of him. You can see he comes through not so much from the inside, gets everything working back out in front of him as he rotates really hard. If we pause it parallel to the ground here, it's a great position here. Gets much more of a square club face earlier. Kind of club just outside the hands, going to work slightly across the ball. But beautiful posture, beautiful spine angle. As we play it down to impact, again, really nice position. We can see a lot of weight shifting to his left side. Just a great position here. Love his posture and spine angle. Jordan also, I don't think he gets credit for one, how much he rotates in his golf swing. He's so much rotation. And two, very athletic guy. He does a lot of gym work. Just because he's not like huge and kind of ripped, but he's very mobile, very strong and very flexible. And you can kind of see that here in his hips. As we start to play this through, he extends that right arm, holds onto the face. Again, we can see a little bit of a chicken wing, but it's not as much as he extends that back and kind of comes through to that finish. Now, we'll just play that through once or twice for you guys to take a look at, just without me interrupting. It's a hugely different swing. Just try and memorize this swing, because the swing we're about to look at in 2018 is so different to this. It honestly like blew my mind when I first took a look at this. Especially as I heard a commentator say recently when watching Jordan that he's getting back to his old golf swing, which he's definitely not. That is not true at all, because this is not his old golf swing at all, and I'm about to show you guys that for sure. So now, driver from, I think this was 2018. First of all, let's just pause it as setup. Setup here, everything is a really good setup position. In my mind, the hips here are sat a little bit further back than in the swing we just took a look at. And everything's square here. In the swing we just took a look at, his shoulders are a little bit more open in terms of alignment. But great setup here, like that a lot. As we play this back, I'm going to pause it parallel to the ground. Pretty similar. I would probably say Jordan keeps the club head a little bit more outside the hands. Probably doesn't here, like the hands have worked quite away from him, and they still do a little bit, but probably not quite so bad. And I also did a video previously on my channel where we talked about Jordan Spieth. If you've noticed, if you've watched him recently, he has this really exaggerated practice swing rehearsal, and I did a video about a month ago on my channel, you can check it out, where we took a look at that practice swing rehearsal. We basically broke down what he's trying to feel and what's kind of trying to happen in that rehearsal to make these changes to his golf swing. And this is one. He's trying to get the hands and arms working a little bit more inside on the takeaway. Now let's keep playing it back to the top. It's a good swing, don't get me wrong, it's a really good swing. I love the plane the club works on. But if we pause it at the top, we can see this is a very different swing to what we just took a look at. That club is pretty much perfectly down the line. Bear in mind, Jordan's swing we just took a look at was very, very laid off. Very laid off. I'm talking like extremely laid off. This is very, very down the line. A bit more of a traditional swing here, actually. In terms of Jordan's body positions, you can't really see the reverse pivot or anything from this angle. We'd have to see a front-on angle to take a look at that. But we will be able to see how he backs out of it. But in terms of arm structure as well, the right elbow here is further away than it was in the previous swing. It's further away. And yeah, further away and probably a little bit not quite as bent, not quite as tucked in. But, you know, marginal differences there. As we start to swing it down, here's where we're going to see some more differences. He drops the hands and arms kind of in behind him as he rotates and the shaft shallows out. And this is so, so different. The face isn't nearly as square. He's rotating, the club's coming way more from inside, not out in front of him. Gets it stuck a little bit behind. But as we pause it parallel to the ground, I mean, it's a good position. Like, it's not a bad position, obviously. It's not a bad position. But it's very, very different. Notice how the club face is a lot more open. The club face we just took a look at matched Jordan's spine angle. Jordan's right heel's coming up off the ground a little bit earlier to kind of help him back out of it a little bit. And the club and his right arm and everything are a little bit deeper, more in behind him as he comes through into the ball. I would probably say Jordan's spine angle is a little bit more upright here too. He probably actually early extends a little bit here in terms of like that right heel coming up off the ground, the right knee now moving more into the ball, and the right hip as well. His spine angle is a little bit more upright because of all these things. And because he's kind of in a bit of an awkward position here as we play this through, he's going to have to really hold on to that face and back out of it. He can't really shift any of his weight left. Look at that chicken wing with the left arm, a lot more of it here as he comes through, and he definitely has more of an upright spine angle, extended a little bit earlier. Now, I just want to show you that driver swing we just took a look at a second ago, just to compare. I'm just going to play it through once for you guys, but look how different this swing is compared to that. It is blowing my mind what a different golf swing this really is. It is so, so different. Everything about it, well, a lot of things about it in terms of the club, well, pretty much the whole club movement is different. Now let's just take a look at Jordan. We're just going to have a look at an iron swing. Again, this is from like, I think 2017 or 2018. We'll just pause it as setup here. Again, in my mind, his hips are definitely sat a little bit further back than they are now. Probably maybe a little bit more knee bend too. So he's got more weight into his heels here. And as he swings back, pause it parallel to the ground. Actually, the hands and arms work more on the inside here. Really interesting that. Gets the club a little bit more inside than he did previously, in a good position with the club face matching the spine angle. So we play it to the top, gets the club working a lot deeper, more in behind him. And if we pause it at the top, you can see a lot more of that club face. It's not as laid off. The right arm is completely different. The right arm, the elbow is further away from him now in his golf swing. The right elbow is more tucked and in front of him, and also a bit more bend in the right arm. And then as we play this down, he's going to drop the club in behind him a little bit as he rotates, Club comes down a much more upright vertical plane. If we kind of pause it just after parallel to the ground, we don't have a parallel to the ground frame, we can see the club face is a lot more open here as well, and coming more from the inside and on a more upright plane. And as we play it through to impact, pause it at impact, he probably doesn't have as much rotation. It looks like he doesn't have as much room in terms of the body. He hasn't cleared the hips as much. He kind of looks a bit cramped for room here between the hands and the body. As we play it through, he holds on to that face and kind of backs out of it a lot. Look how much chicken wing there is in that left arm as he holds on to that club face and then he comes through. So guys, that is Jordan Spieth's golf swing 2020 and 2021 and kind of a few 2018, 2017 swings there. Let me know, comment, there's a lot there, there's a lot that's changed, there's a lot to talk about, but comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys in what you saw there. Is there anything I haven't mentioned which you saw was different or the same, or what did you guys see there? I'll reply to all your comments down below. Remember, give this video a like, guys, subscribe to the channel as well. The main differences I saw there, I mean, the club moves in a completely different way, but the body moves the club, guys. It's important not to get too wrapped up in how the golf club moves, because it's the body that's moving differently to get the club in those positions. Jordan's swing is a lot better now. It works a lot better into the ball. It may not look as technically good at the top. It may be slightly unorthodox in how laid off he gets the club, but in terms of the downswing, how the club is working, how the body's working through the ball, it's a lot better, and he is going to be playing some really good golf from here on out. I think, you know, the more he works on these changes, the more consistent they're going to get. We're going to see some really good golf from Jordan. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one, guys. As always, grip it and rip it.